It is Christmas. I have all my decorations up. It is a little bit earlier. I'm filming this earlier than I'll be posting it. It is technically actually still November right now. I have my Christmas themed mug here, which is adorable little Christmas scape with some reindeer. And yes, it does have my jam on toast tea inside it. And I am using a pudding coaster, which are now littered around my front room, and I am wearing my Christmas shirt. I am fully ready for Christmas. Now, Christmas is one of the reasons why I'm excited for this video. The other is because I'm finally doing a more book-themed video. Obviously, most of my videos are reading from the Monster Manual, which is definitely a book, but I am such a huge reader in my personal life, and I have been dying to do a book video for a while now, and I thought I would take the opportunity, since I've had a really good reading season, to do you an autumn wrap-up and winter/Christmas TBR. So we will start with the books that I read throughout autumn. This should actually roughly be in order of when I read them, or the order in which I read them. And so we start with this beautiful book, which I admittedly found on TikTok. They have some very good book suggestions on there. So this one is The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop by Takuya Asakura. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. I will read you the synopsis. Welcome to the Cherry Blossom Bookshop, a haven for book lovers that only appears during the fleeting cherry blossom season. Nestled amidst the bloom of delicate petals, you'll find a sanctuary for those burdened by regrets and past sorrows. Here, Sakura, the mysterious young owner, and her wise calico cat Kubako patiently await the arrival of souls in need of solace and healing. Told over 4 seasons, each visitor to the bookshop holds a book that bridges their past and present, guiding them towards understanding and acceptance with the antique charm of the shop and the soothing aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Sakura and Kabaku help their guests confront their lingering sadness through the power of stories, enabling them to move forward with renewed hope. I've been on quite the sort of cozy Japanese kick recently. There's been quite a few that I've really enjoyed, and this one is definitely at the top of the list. Next up, another TikTok read, The Baby Dragon Cafe. Now, I have always liked the idea of a book that's based in a town that has dragons just casually living around, almost like cats. They have like little jobs in cafes and bookshops/bookstores, you know, having little jobs like lighting the lamps around town. So I was really, really excited for this one, and I'll read you the synopsis. Welcome to the cutest and most complicated cafe in town. When Saphira opens her cafe for customers with pet baby dragons, she isn't expecting it to be quite so hard to keep the fires burning. But her young dragon patrons keep incinerating the furniture, which means selling coffee isn't covering the costs. Local heartthrob Aiden is a gardener, though his disobedient baby dragon is a major distraction from his beloved plants. However, Saphira's cafe gives him an idea. He'll ask Saphira to train his dragon and pay her enough to keep the cafe afloat. They know they're the answer to each other's problems, but happy-go-lucky Saphira and gorgeous but grumpy Aiden couldn't be more different. Can they find a way to work together and maybe even ignite some fire of their own? as she's training it, I thought that the way she was training it would not in any way, shape or form actually train a dragon. I found her quite insipid. So like I say, the characters had no depth for me. I could not see any spark between them, any connection between them. It felt quite sort of forced for plot reasons. I did not enjoy this book, and I won't be reading the second one. The next one I read was Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I am a huge lover of the film. I watch it every autumn along with millions and millions of other people. And I was really intrigued. I love seeing how books differ to films. Sorry, the synopsis. As children, sisters Gillian and Sally were forever outsiders in their small New England town, teased, taunted and shunned for the sense of magic that seemed to hang in the air around them. All Gillian and Sally ever wanted was to get away. Years later, tragedy brings the sisters back together. They'll find that no matter what else may happen, they'll always have each other. An enchanting tale of love, forgiveness and family, Practical Magic is one of Alice Hoffman's best-loved novels and the basis of the classic movie. This one, I absolutely adored. I loved it. I will definitely end up rereading this. It differed quite a lot from the film. I think the characters, particularly Sally, was quite different to her movie counterpart. Gillian was very, very close to the movie counterpart. Timelines are slightly different. There are different events. I adored this book. Quick tea break. Next up we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I think this is a very, very well-known book and series. I ended up starting with one I'm currently reading now. Realised that I was probably doing it in a slightly weird order, and so decided to pick up The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. The first couple of chapters that I'd read in what I believe to be the second one, I didn't particularly enjoy, so I was taking a real gamble with this one. But I really, really enjoyed it. I've been on a slight sort of Hallmark kick. I've been rewatching the Good Witch movie series, so I'm in a serious Hallmark period of my life, and this kind of felt very much like that. I adored it. When Jeannie's aunt gifts her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbour, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbour's gossip at all costs. But Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan, or has this city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm or her pumpkin spice lattes? Loved it. It wasn't deep, it didn't require much thinking, but I loved it. The characters were charming. Dream Harbour is an adorable place. I thought the characters had a really good connection. I liked how everything was resolved. I liked the sort of conflict partway through. I really enjoyed this. Next up, we have a book by a very favourite author of mine. I've been working my way through their books. Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. I saw this in Waterstones, and I'm currently playing a paladin in our D&D group, in our D&D campaign, so I kind of felt drawn to it anyway. And the cover, I mean, stunning. While foraging for startle flower, perfumer pursued by ruffians and rescued by a handsome paladin in shining armour. Only to outwit her hunters, they must pretend to be doing something very unrespectable in an alleyway. Stephen, a broken paladin, spends his time knitting socks and working as a bodyguard, living only for the chance to be useful. But that all changes when he saves Grace and witnesses an assassination attempt gone wrong. Now, Stephen and Grace must navigate a web of treachery and poisoners, while a cryptic killer stalks one step behind. I adored this book. Adored it. I will immediately be buying the rest of the series, one by one. I get, from what I can gather, there's a small group of paladins that the book mentions quite a lot. Obviously this one focuses on Stephen, and I think that each of the following books follows one of those paladins and a particular love interest. Stephen and Grace are wonderful together. The little conflicts throughout were great. The mystery of the murders was brilliant. Definitely didn't see it coming. This next series that I've been rereading is a very divisive one. There are some people of the opinion it is terrible. For some people this is the best thing in the world. I've read this as a teen. Liked some parts, didn't like other parts. Then the film series started coming out. Everyone jumped on the bandwagon, and so I fell into the camp of hating this series because it was cool to hate the series amongst the sort of teen reading community. And that is Twilight. I was suckered into buying this series. I'm sure I bought these as a teen, but I think I gave them to my mum, or I might have borrowed them from a friend. I can't really remember, but I saw the white covers on TikTok, and I was almost gonna get those, and I went for the classic black ones in the end. I can't deny these have such an autumnal feel to them, and so I bought them. I was really intrigued as to how I felt about the series rereading it as an adult. The films are a slight guilty pleasure, though not really, because I don't feel guilty about it. So I won't say that the films are a guilty pleasure, but I do enjoy them. I enjoy absolutely ripping them to shreds during the ridiculous parts, and there are some parts that I love because they remind me of my teen years. There's a certain nostalgia factor there, so I can't help it, and I wondered how I would feel about the series as an adult. I feel very much the same as I did as a teen. Some of this, in fact a lot of it, is completely ridiculous. Can't stand Edward, can't stand Jacob. I think my love of the series is the lore parts. I liked the vampire lore. I liked learning about the Volturi, the different powers the vampires have, like that whole second section of Breaking Dawn, where we find other vampires and we learn about their powers. Oh, I could soak up that all day. Loved it. The actual love and romance about the books, can't stand. Edward is a controlling bastard. I can't stand him. Jacob is a whiny man-child. Well, he's not even a man, I suppose he is a child. And Bella is infuriating. But then I read all the parts with like Rosalie and Emmett and Jasper and Alice and Carlisle, and I love those parts. Rosalie is now my favourite character, 100%. So I have been rereading this series, and the reason that Breaking Dawn isn't here is because I'll be talking about that slightly later on. The last two books that I've read in the autumn season were specifically for Halloween. So we have another Japanese, what is the word? When you translate another Japanese translation, Strange Pictures by Uketsu, who I believe is a YouTuber, who has written a couple of books, or two that I'm aware of. I'm definitely getting the second one of this. A series of drawings made by a young woman child's disturbing picture of his home, a desperate sketch made by a murder victim in his final moments. Each contains a chilling warning. Each reveals a terrible secret hidden in plain sight. Uketsu's eerie mysteries have captivated millions of readers. Can you find the clues in these strange pictures and uncover the sinister truth that connects them all? I loved this. I loved the premise. I loved the book. It is literally based on, each story is based around pictures, and they're different pictures for each story, different kinds of pictures. Some are kids' drawings, some are a wife's drawings while she's pregnant, some are like police sort of drawings and sketches. If I remember correctly, there's 4 mini stories, and as it says, they're all connected, and the connection, the twist, I didn't see it coming. I loved it. I loved trying to work it out. I loved the implementation of the pictures as a story narrative. It was brilliant, and I am definitely getting the second one. I don't know if it's in here. So that might be one. Yes, there it is. Strange Houses. Definitely going to get that one. And it does mention that a third one, Strange Buildings, is coming soon. So definitely recommend it, and I'll definitely be carrying on with the other books. And the last one that I read for spooky season was The Ghosts of Merry Hall by Heather Davey. Another one where the cover definitely drew me in. In 2025, following the breakup of her marriage, cash-strapped single mother Nell moves into the crumbling Merry Hall with her teenage daughter Fern to house it for its evasive owner. She's determined to make a new life in the gloomy Victorian mansion, but the noises, moving objects, and strange smells in her new home make her increasingly unsettled. In the 1840s, showman Abel Wenham seduces Dolly, a talented albino girl, and makes her the star of his performing collection of freaks. But after she becomes pregnant with his child, he discards her and imprisons her at Merry Hall, where her only solace is the company of fellow performers Ida the Bear Lady and the Jack the Posturer. They plan to escape with Dolly and her child and set up in business, but Wenham has other ideas. Is Dolly just one of the ghosts that haunt Merry Hall, reaching out across the centuries to right the wrongs of the past? I loved this. It certainly wasn't as spooky as I expected it to be. I think one of the only books that's truly freaked me out for Halloween sort of spooky season is I think you would class it as a middle grade book. Long Lankin. I can't remember at this point who wrote that. But it's a middle grade book called Long Lankin. Truly creepy. It very much gave Slender Man vibes, which is something that has freaked me out as a concept. As they were all coming out, I watched religiously the Marble Hornets series on YouTube. Terrified me, and that's very similar to what Long Lankin did. So it didn't scare me. I am really struggling to find horror books that scare me. I'm very much a person who is more scared by the supernatural. So books like Long Lankin, and in theory, books like Ghosts of Merry Hall should be terrifying to me. Long Lankin was. This wasn't. So if you do have any suggestions for really creepy horror books that are based around the supernatural, I would love them. Please comment them below, because it's a genre I'm really struggling with. I don't like body horror. I'm not a particular fan of gore. Body horror in particular does gross me out, but Blood and Guts doesn't. It's just not my thing. I don't find it creepy or eerie. I want like eerie. As an example, I am an avid reader of like the No Sleep forum on Reddit, blending of the two timelines. I loved them puzzling it out. I loved the progression of the haunting throughout the book, and I was really invested in the mother and daughter in this book. So definitely recommend this one. So my current reads, I actually have two. I'm not usually someone who starts other books while they're reading others, but the first one that I'm currently reading is Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer, the last one of the Twilight series, and because it's such a chunky book, I've stopped, spoilers, right as Bella gives birth and is turned into a vampire. And I knew I was going to pause at that point and read another book in between just to give myself a bit of a break. So I'm currently reading this one. I've just gotten to the part where, like I say, Bella has given birth and been turned, and I've stopped to actually finish The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. This is one that I read a couple of chapters of at the beginning of autumn. Wasn't really feeling it. I'm not a big fan of characters who don't believe another character is interested in them because they have, self-worth issues, they have insecurities, even though it is blatantly obvious. If you're going to run that angle, don't make it so obvious that the love interest is actually interested in them. So that irritated me slightly in the beginning, and I've gone back to it. I pushed past that and I'm really enjoying it. Again, it's a very hallmarky feel, no stakes, or low stakes I should say. I'm not sure what the conflict is heading to here. I have an idea, but they seem to have slightly touched on it and then recovered from it, so I don't know if she'll dip back into that and make it a bigger conflict or not. But I'm over halfway, nearly. I think I'm even like 2/3 into it now, and I am enjoying it. I will carry on with the series. I just find it lovely. TBR time, my winter Christmas TBR. I don't know if I'll get through all of these. I'm going to give it my best shot. So the first one is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. Oh, there is something about a book like that you haven't read yet. Just the way that it feels, like it's so new. I'm a terrible spine breaker. You will notice that I do bend my spines. It's how I read, each to their own. So for me, there's just something about a clean spine, a book that you've not got your hands on yet, that I absolutely love. So this one is the first one on my TBR. As owner of her beloved gingerbread bakery, Annie Andrews should have a love life to match her business, sugary and sweet. But instead, she's locked in a battle of wills with the irritatingly upbeat bar owner down the street. Max Sullivan has everything he wants, except the girl he dreams of. It's easier to argue with Annie than get her to talk to him, but with Jeannie and Logan's wedding coming up, they're about to spend a lot more time together. As the snowflakes fall and with romance in the air, will Annie see the one? Will Annie see that the one she loves to hate might just be her perfect match after all? I love the covers of these books. They're so gorgeous. This is giving super, super Christmas vibes, and I can't wait to give it a go. Next up, and I found this one in Tesco's, we've got Murder at Mistletoe Manor. 'Tis the Season for Murder by F.L. Everett. I loved the vibe of this book. It's giving very like Great Gatsby. That might just be the font down here. But I've gotten a little bit more into murder mysteries. I read a number of them while I was on holiday absolutely love Agatha Christie. I'm very slowly working my way through, so that's the kind of like murder mystery that I love. But I love murder mystery with a theme. So this one is like Christmassy. The other one was set at a bakery contest. Just something added extra. So, welcome to Mistletoe Manor Hotel. 4 days before Christmas, 12 stranded strangers gather round a crackling fire. They are sheltering from the storm raging outside, but their relief is short-lived. As the snow deepens, the tree-lined avenue winding through the hotel's parkland becomes impassable. Their isolation is complete. The next morning, a body is found in one of the luxurious four-poster beds. As 12 strangers become 11 suspects, who among them has checked in with murder in mind, and will any of them live to see another Christmas? I loved the premise of that, loved the cover, loved the idea, so definitely looking forward to that one. I've just been told by my phone I've got 15% battery left, so I'll need to wrap up this wrap up. That tea is now cold. It's giving great tappy noises, but not a great taste anymore. Next up, we have one that I attempted to read a few years ago, but it was during a particularly turbulent time in my life, so I wasn't able to give it my full attention, and that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I love the film, the most recent film, and I loved it. Such juicy Christmas vibes, such wonderful stories with each of the sisters, absolutely heart-wrenching. I cry every time I watch it. It's so sweet, but also bittersweet, and it's just wonderful. And I know the book is going to be even better. I know it's going to suck me in, so I really want to give this another go this year. This is one of many cloth-bound ones that I've purchased at Waterstones that sit pride of place on my bookshelves. This one just happens to have been sat unread for quite some time, and I need to read it, so again, hoping that this year will be the year. The next book that I'm planning on reading, which is actually on my Kindle, and just a quick moment of appreciation for this. I've done the whole clear cover with stickers inside. Some of my favourites are Grumpy Sunshine, because that is a favourite trope of mine. And we've got my little spicy book dragon down there, and my gorgeous little ghosties here. But this is Matches and Mistletoe by Rebecca F. Kenny, a winter anthology of Celtic and Germanic myths. I'm going to try and get that in there. It's black and white, and I'm trying not to get the light to shine on it. I love a winter anthology, and there's one that I reread every year, which I'll talk about in a moment, so I'm really excited to give this one a go. They're nice to just be able to dip into throughout the whole season, so this is probably one I'll be reading throughout the season in between reading other books. As I mentioned, there is a book that I reread every single Christmas without fail, even if I only read some of it because it is an anthology. I read it, and that is My True Love Gave to Me. This is an anthology book, and firstly, again, the cover of that. We've got short stories in here, 12 Winter Romances by Holly Black, Ali Carter, Matt De La Pena, Gail Foreman, Jenny Hahn, David Levithan, Kelly Link, Myra McIntyre, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, Lainey Taylor, and Kirsten White. And it's edited by Stephanie Perkins as well. I even don't mind the pink sprayed edges. I might have mentioned pink is not my colour in any way, shape or form. But I love this series. Rainbow Rowell actually has a little mini-series of short stories, one of which is Midnight. I've completely derailed since I've just smashed my mic. Yeah, Midnight is about a girl who waits in line for the new Star Wars film to premiere, and she has all of these dreams of like past Star Wars, like cinema lines, and there's like 3 of them. But it's such a wonderful, heartwarming story, as are most of these, so I reread this every year and I will be definitely doing that again. Last on my TBR is a book that I'm actually planning on doing a series for right over Christmas, of me reading it, which is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I've never read this book. This is a gorgeous version that my uncle bought for me last year. It's like a reprinting of how it was when it was first published. So it's got this gorgeous like embossed design here. It's got the gold foil. It's lovely. And there's even a little like message inside from Charles Dickens. Oh, there it is, a facsimile of the original edition. So they've basically sort of reprinted it how it was back then. A facsimile reproduction of the preface from Dickens' manuscript is also in there. And I just love the fact that it's so small. I love books like this. I'm a sucker for just small versions of things. It kind of reminds me of a film, I think it is, or a series. Oh gosh, I've just gotten blasted by memory, but I can't think what the film is. It's gonna come to me. And I'm gonna cut out all of the minutes of me trying to remember what this reminds me of. If I remember what this tiny little book reminds me of, what film I'm thinking of, I'm gonna insert it here, but I need to carry on with my video because my battery's dying. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 2-part series of me reading this, maybe 3 depending on how long it takes me, because I've never read it, and I think it'll be a really nice little Christmas video series of me reading A Christmas Carol. So very, very much looking forward to reading that. And that's that. So that was my autumn wrap up and my winter/Christmas TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been so excited to film this. I could talk about books all day long. So hopefully this has inspired you to read some of these yourself. If you do let me know what you think of them. If you have any supernaturally sort of no sleep style horror books to recommend me, please do, because it's a genre that I just so far have not been able to gel with. So do give me your recommendations. For now, enjoy the rest of your week. If you have liked this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, commenting to say what you enjoyed, and if you are enjoying a lot of my videos, please do consider subscribing. Take care. I think it's like a classic Christmas film. That visual there. I'm just staring at myself in this mirror so that I get this, but it's smaller. I think they have really long claws or nails. And it's not Beauty and the Beast either. I feel like it's a cartoon. I think it's been like 15 minutes since I recorded this video. I think it is Beauty and the Beast. I believe there's a scene where the Beast is holding a book, because I can see the claws, and I think he runs a hand down its spine, and it looks small.